Hey guys, how's it going? It's Saturday afternoon. Had a day and a half of yard sale. It actually started out on Friday, and we'll do a little preview of what we got going on. As far as the Honda, I think the last time I was talking, I was going to see if I can get a snowblower for it, and obviously I did pick one up. And it looks to be complete. You don't know until you kind of set that stuff up, but it seems like there's enough bits and pieces to it. They're a shaft drive unit. It's 42 inches wide. Came with chains. Not that I'm going to need the chains, but they're quite stout. You know, they're built somewhat like a tank. As you can kind of see, there's the output from it, and then there's frame head setup needs to come and get put on the front of the tractor, and that front setup comes off of the mower deck. So I have a feeling that that's how that guy's going to stay. I want to see if we can get a cab for it. It'll probably be the next part. And again, that being a four-wheel drive tractor, and it's got that rear steer. So when you're running the snowblower and you go to make a turn, you don't end up driving, the front tires don't end up driving into snow that's not been moved yet, because of the way it articulates around it. So the Aaron's is going to go for sale, and this is going to get put together. But for now, it's going to get put out back till fall, and I'll worry about it then. And more yard selling. I went and picked up a rototiller, and I was pretty much new. It was used once, so it's already out front for sale. We see if we get rid of that. Mama's doing some painting. And I went yesterday. There was an estate sale yesterday. I ended up putting a lot of that stuff away already, but we can kind of, actually I think some of it's in here. See what we got. I picked up an old toboggan, and I was thinking about using this for the table in the bus. I'm still trying to kind of figure out what I want with that, but it's got a nice old look to it. But I'm trying to figure out where I would cut it. Would you be able to tell it was a toboggan? You know, would you leave the front curled on it? But that would kind of take up some room, and I want to fold up to the wall. So it was cheap enough to grab. I think it was like 10 bucks, something like that. So it may turn into another project. Turn into something else anyway. And then just like weird stuff. This is a 48 star flag. So when did Hawaii become part of us? That's when the date of that flag would be, or prior to that. This was a hand-painted mural. I'm not going to bother opening it up now. Just like a bunch of goofy stuff. I just made a big pile of stuff that was laying around. This is copper. And that guy. Let's see what else we got in here. Got ourselves a brass. Alright, what is that? Not a mule. You guys are laughing at me right now, saying you know what that is. Anyway, whatever. Here's him, and then there's the buggy that goes around his neck and gets pulled. I thought it was pretty cool. I threw that in the pile too. And just weird stuff. Bacon press. Had a neat kind of plaque to it. Figure I'd make something out of that. Some old school magnets, grab those. Another like old flashlight. I kind of cutting these up and making headlights for the bikes out of them, so I grabbed that too. That stuff. And anything else in here? I got some like official license plates. A friend of mine does one of the swap meets, so he ended up taking those. I gave him a bunch of stuff. Some of the stuff I got today was these guys. What's that? A broken camera mount? What they use is you put your camera on it, and then you can kind of set it on the ground, and it keeps the camera stable, but you can still kind of rotate the camera around easier as you're walking and talking. I probably should be using it now, right? And a bike rack. A bike stand rather, for working on bicycles, and all the pieces and parts rotate all the way around. I've been looking for one of those for a while, so I ended up grabbing that. That's probably the most expensive thing I bought. That was 40 bucks, but I really needed it, so I went and grabbed it. Then I went to one yard sale, and they were just kind of cleaning up. It was around noontime, and they just said pretty much take whatever you want. It's all free. So they had like a box of hammers and tools and stuff, and everything was $1 a piece, it said. So I just grabbed the whole pail because it was free. And then I ended up getting this table was on that base, and it's an older, I'm saying probably the 20s, it looks like, the era of it, and it's maybe a little 30s. It's that Formica, is that the word? No, not Formica. Porcelain, that's what it is. The top is porcelain, kind of like those old kitchen tables. You actually can kind of see the porcelain from the back of it, you know, the uncured part of it. Probably has the name of it right there. But you'll see why I grabbed that in a minute. And also with that same yard sale, some other free pieces was a bag of boat speakers, which basically you can use outside on your deck or whatever, because they can handle getting wet. So I actually think they're going to go in the pontoon boat, because they just have regular car speakers in that, and they already went to shit. And then this thing, it's this piece, that piece, and somewhere else is another piece to it too. I forget where I put it, but it's probably underneath it. It's a planer. Let's see if I can flip that over. Hold on one second. But they had that in a free pile too. And so I'm going to go through that. He said he thinks the switch is no good on, because if you flip in a switch, it would run, not run, run, not run. Not that that's a big deal to fix. So it's that piece, and I believe that piece goes onto the side of it right here and drives off the shaft, and also is now, I'm not very familiar with woodwork stuff, but you know, again, another planer of some sort. So those two pieces go together. And there's the last piece right there. This, probably a guide to it. That piece looks like it's locks into here and here, and then that thing sits on top of it. So see if we can resurrect that. That should be worth a few bucks anyway. I doubt that I'll ever really use it, but board width. You can go up to, goes up to what, almost 13 inches in width then? And then how much you could take off each time, I guess that is what that means. So, not quite sure how you open it. We'll experiment with that later, but I thought that was pretty cool. And where else can we go? We can go take a walk in the garage. Oh, the Craftsman tractor ended up getting sold, and I took this on trade-in, and it's just a pile of them already. But I already kind of went through it, and I just got done pressure washing it off. It runs and everything, it works. So I figure I put this out for a couple $100, probably 250 bucks. It's got a good motor on it, 16 horse Briggs, and it's a hydrostatic with the foot control, which is nice. And then more of the free pile towards the end of it was just a package of like brake cleaner, and there's, I don't know what this stuff is, 3-in-1 something. Silicone. And this guy must have had VWs at one time, or cleaned out a place that had VWs, because I just got done having a look for these, and these are the bulbs that go inside the dash on my bus, and I think even the later buses too. So there's a bunch of those bulbs in there, and then this is the whole thing of 6-volt bulbs, and a lot of the mopeds and bikes and whatnot are 6 volts, so I actually have a hard time trying to find some of those bulbs at times. So I think it was $2 or $1 for the package of them. You pay that for 1 bulb, so I'm happy with that. We'll put them in the stash. An old saw blade with a wrong handle on it, but the blade looked pretty cool. And again, we'll put it in a hoard to make something out of in the future. And I'm not quite sure what this is. He's got some dental issues. It's supposed to be a skull that I think is supposed to light up, because it's got this base that's inside here with an anal probe or something sticking out of there. So anyway, here's his lower jaw. That's what it is. So we'll see what that thing is after. And on the bus we have a couple of things that we grabbed. Was this blanket, which is like one of those handmade, a quilt, I don't know what you call it, and you patch the pieces together, but I thought the colors kind of went pretty good with the bus, with the red of the bus. And I got another one also, which again, I'm not going to know what they're called, but you know, when the the old ladies sit around and spew the gossip, and they sew this stuff up, knit one purl too. I thought the colors of that were pretty good too, so I used that for now to cover the back wall of the bus. And I'm in the process of, like I said before, for the tie backs for the windows, I want to use like those women's bracelets. And I got 2 of them so far, actually 3 of them. There's one here, there's one here. And I'm just going to use all different ones on each window to tie the windows back. And then there's another one here, but this one's kind of bling blingy, so I don't know if that one's going to go on there or not, but we'll see. And oh yeah, so what was the rest of the table? I was trying to find a table to replace what was in the van. I was trying to find a sign of some sort, and when I was looking at that table, I had like another section that folded out, and there's that piece right there, and you guys can see the pattern that's in it. It's not overly strong. I was really kind of trying to hope for some kind of like old sign along that, like wooden sign or something along that lines that had like, you know, said Ebenroot or just something cool like that. But this kind of caught my eye, and again, it is that what did I say, porcelain? Ceramic porcelain, I forget what you call it. And you could tell it's got some age to it just from the wood, how it's put together. It had a bunch of this actually kind of like slid under the other table into a pocket, and it had a bunch of slides and stuff on it that were all busted up. So I already unscrewed that stuff where you can kind of see it now. And that will be the table. Yeah, that will go. Let's see if we can get through here. Now, mind you, the back seat will be in the folded up position. But that is going to go there. It actually goes that way. It goes right about here when this is folded up into a couch. And then that table flips up, and you can eat at the table. When you're not using it, you flip it back down to the wall. The only problem with it is, of course, I went for a guesstimation. And as you can kind of see, it's about 1 inch taller than the windows are. So I may have to try to make some kind of funky bracketry where it kind of comes up and sits level once it's up, so it's not up into the windows. You know, I don't care if it's up over the windows a little bit when it's in the stored position, but I want to do something where you don't see it. And what else I got going on? Well, guys, I've been just doing a bunch of mower work for people, so there's really not too much going on. We didn't get that much further in the bus, but at least I'll have the pieces to kind of put it together. So that's what I got going on right now. Oh, and one more thing. And you say, oh yeah, you need a leg for that thing to hold up the table when it's in the out position. I found this piece of hand carved wood. Yeah, if you can see it. Got the boogeyman on top, and I didn't notice it at first, but it's got a couple of snakes wrapped around it. I'm not all that fond of snakes, but I was just looking at this part of it saying, man, that's pretty cool. It's handmade. So that will be the leg that holds up the table, and then whatever distance I need to cut so it sits level, I can just cut right off of this end where there's nothing done onto it. But I thought that was kind of cool looking. Lighting in here kind of sucks a little bit, but you get the general idea, right? So that should be my table setup, hopefully, unless I find something else in the next day or two that has a little bit more of like a sign for the table than what I have. That's what's going to get installed. Not that I can't change it out at a later date. And another side note, as I see it in the distance here, was this guy, which is an old paper cutter. That's all cast. Generally these were wood, and the edge was just the edge was cast. So got one of those for slicing up and making templates and everything, make nice straight lines when you cut. So I'm going to stash this against the wall on the side over here. Add it to the tool collection. And I think that's pretty much it. A couple of old milk crates, one in there, and there's another one I think in the back of the truck yet. that have kind of a cool or unique look. Actually, it was the one that was in there that I was showing you in the tank garage. So I'm gonna go about stashing this stuff away so it doesn't look like I'm too much of a hoard, and get to working on the bus, and possibly maybe working on that table. I got a charging system. We went for a ride yesterday. I know I forgot to bring the camera with me. At nighttime we went out to dinner, and didn't run the bus very much with the headlights on, but we were riding home and the radio's turning on and off, on and off. What's up with that? And the charging system wasn't keeping up, and it was running the battery lower and lower. Actually, the radio was shutting off, or just not having enough juice. So I came home, I shut the thing off, and I came over and I rolled the garage door open, and went to go start it back up, and it was stone dead. So I'm going to go steal the voltage regulator out of the red bug, because it's the same thing, and go and cure this. I actually knew it was a problem before. I had a meter on it, and it would charge good at like up to like 1500 to 2000 RPMs. Anything above that, for some reason, it would cut out. And it was a used regulator that was in a friend of mine's van, but I didn't have anything else to put in there at the time. So I put it in there just for now, and that for now is over. So we're gonna go fix that issue, and then we're should be good to go. So, all right guys, I'm gonna stop yapping. Again, thanks for watching. Take care.